Today I want to share some tips for those of you who feel like they are an achiever, where you feel this intense, innate inner drive and sensation to go ahead and strive for large goals. You feel this purpose where you feel like you are put on this planet to go ahead and achieve great things, and you feel an internal pressure to rise up to higher standards than anyone else would put on you. If you feel like you're this type of person where you strive for large goals and you just feel like it's something you have to do, where you feel like you're obligated to achieve very large goals, and you exceed everyone else's expectations, but you always seem to fall short of your own expectations because you hold yourself to a very high standard. This is the case with myself. I've recognized it. It's very useful. It's very useful. There's obviously pros and cons to it. It can get you into trouble, and it's gotten me in trouble twice. And I want to share two strategies of how you yourself, if you feel this way, how you can get out of this feeling of judging yourself too hard sometimes, where you might feel like it's good. And I definitely felt like it's good to judge yourself very hard because it's going to force you to rise up to higher standards, which is great. There comes a point where you do need to pull back and you need to learn to let go and accept things for how they are. And no matter how much in control you are of your life, sometimes you need to take a step back when it becomes too much. And you might not be able to understand this because you might not have experienced it yet. Because if I didn't have experienced these situations twice, where I felt very depressed for a number of weeks, a month even, no longer than a month though, because I got myself out of it. But you might not be able to relate. If you can relate, then this video is going to be helpful for you. So this is what I learned essentially. I learned that I needed to quit judging myself, number one. And number two, I needed to learn to let go and drop things. And I had to remind myself of this all the time. I had to remind myself that I am not superhuman. Even if I am striving to be a superior human, meaning I'm striving to be above average. I feel like I am above average, and I feel like I am going to be someone who is extremely successful. So if I am going to become someone who is extremely successful, I obviously need to be acting at all times like someone who is extremely successful. So I put in my brain that I need to be able to do a lot more than anyone else is able to do. And I convinced myself that I am obviously able to do a lot more than anyone else can because I am a successful person who achieves great things. So when you put that in your mind, you feel like you need to be operating at 100% 7 days a week, all day, every single day. And when you're not, you beat yourself up. I do this to myself all the time. It's allowed me to achieve great things so far. And there comes a time where you need to pull back, because what happened with me is, couple days of falling short of what you expect of yourself, and you start to lose motivation. Then you get fed up and you get stressed, and then you judge yourself like, I can't believe you didn't do that. I can't believe you didn't do all that work that you know you can do. And then the next day you go into it with less drive, and this continues, this pattern where you go into the next day, each day, with less motivation. You start to lower your confidence. You get worse confidence because every day you're beating yourself up of what you didn't do yesterday. You're like, oh, you begin to not even look at the good things you did yesterday. Like, oh, but you didn't finish that person's work. You didn't finish this work. And it carries on each day. Next thing you know, you're piling more work on your plate, which you shouldn't be doing, and you're falling short of the work that you're setting out to do. And it begins to overwhelm you, and you hit a point where you're like, that's it. I need to get away from this. And you feel burnt out, and you start to feel depressed because you're talking so negatively to yourself. Like, I can't believe you didn't do that. I can't believe you didn't do that. And that's what I learned. The two things I needed to remind myself was to learn to let go, right? So what that you didn't do what you said you're gonna do? It's okay. It's okay. What matters most in your life right now? Resort back to gratefulness. What are you grateful for right now? What's good about your life right now? What can you be grateful for right now? Okay, you're healthy. Your family members are okay. You're financially stable. Your health you're in good health. There's so many good things. It's like, are you really going to stress about all these minute details? Yeah, you didn't reply to an email. Oh, the world's gonna end. No, you have so many good things going for you right now. Why are you beating yourself up so hard? Yeah, you earned less income this month than last month. Is that really worth being depressed over? Just because you have such great expectations of yourself? Like, get over yourself. That's another thing I need to learn. Get over yourself. Drop your ego. You have a high ego. You have high expectations of yourself. You believe that you're this person of success, so you're gonna act like it all the time. Just because you're a person who is successful or you're acting like someone who is successful, it doesn't mean that these people operate 100% all the time, 7 days a week. They don't. They're normal people. We're all normal people. That's the moral of the story here, is no matter how superior you think you are, how superior you're striving to be, you have to quit judging yourself sometimes. Basically all the time, ideally. But I do understand the power of judging yourself because it can get you to act when you don't feel like acting. However, there's a fine line, right? Like, it's quite neurotic to judge yourself all the time. So you need to understand that you don't have to judge yourself all the time. Sometimes you can just be, and that's okay. That's fantastic. For those people who are high achievers, they actually really need to focus on the opposite. You're so focused on achieving that sometimes you really need to take a step back and just relax. Learn to relax. That's why I've been meditating for 4 years now, every single day, multiple times a day sometimes. Meditation helps, and I've noticed going for walks, blanking your mind. The key is to focus on the present moment because we're always so focused on the future, striving to create a better future. Sometimes you need to take a step back, appreciate the present, live in the present, and then revisit the future. Too much time spent in the future causes too much anxiety. Too much time spent thinking about the past causes depression. And then time spent in the present puts us at ease. We need more time feeling at ease. That's what I learned. Quit judging yourself. Get over yourself. Drop your ego. Learn to let go. Those 3 things. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you can relate down below. I'm actually very curious. I'm very curious how you feel about this. It's a little bit of a different video for me, but I wanted to share this personal experience. Also, I wanted to share this video because I wanted to be able to look back on it if I found myself in this situation again, and I wanted to use it as a reminder. And whenever you teach things, you internalize it more, so I wanted to teach it so that way I could then internalize it more and use it to my advantage so this doesn't happen to me again.